The Vikings were Germans who settled in Scandinavia, on a bad piece of land, or what we call today, real estate. And the land was so bad for farming, only livestock could survive. But for nearly 300 years, the Vikings became some of the most feared raiders in history. When they come for you, they come from the sea without warning. But why were these brutal raids happening in the first place? Were the Vikings simply bloodthirsty warriors? Or was there something deeper driving them? This is the real reason the Viking raids began.
Run! Run! Attack!
The story starts in Scandinavia. Modern-day Norway, Denmark, and Sweden were harsh places to survive over 1,000 years ago. The winters were long and freezing. Much of the land was rocky and difficult to farm. And as Viking populations slowly grew, there was less fertile land available for families to survive on. For many young Viking men, life offered very few opportunities. If they wanted wealth, land, or power, they had to go out and take it. At the same time, Europe was becoming an easy target. Across England and parts of Western Europe, wealthy Christian monasteries were filled with gold, silver, jewelry, and expensive religious objects. But there was one major problem. Most of these places had almost no protection. The monks living there were not soldiers. They were completely unprepared for violent attacks coming from the sea. The Vikings quickly realized this, and in the year 793 AD, one event shocked Europe forever. Viking raiders attacked the monastery of Lindisfarne in England. The attack was brutal. Monks were treasures were stolen. Buildings were destroyed. To Christians across Europe, it felt like the end of the world. But to the Vikings, this was only the beginning. Soon, Viking ships were appearing all across Europe. They attacked coastal towns, monasteries, and trading centers with terrifying speed. What made them so dangerous was not only their violence, but their ships. The Viking longships were some of the greatest military technologies of their time. They were fast, lightweight, and incredibly flexible. These ships could cross oceans, travel through shallow rivers, and land almost anywhere. A Viking raiding party could appear suddenly, attack within minutes, and disappear before local armies even arrived. This gave the Vikings a massive advantage over their enemies. But the raids were not only about survival. In Viking society, war brought honor. Successful warriors gained wealth, reputation, and followers. A powerful Viking leader could become famous through successful raids. The more treasure he brought home, the more respected he became. Young warriors wanted glory, chiefs wanted power, and raids became a way to build both. Over time, the raids grew even larger. The Vikings stopped attacking only small villages. They began invading entire kingdoms. Large Viking armies entered England and conquered huge territories. Others traveled into France, Ireland, and even deep into Eastern Europe. Some Vikings eventually stopped raiding altogether and became settlers and rulers themselves. In fact, the famous Normans of France were originally descendants of Viking settlers. But despite their fearsome reputation, the Viking Age would not last forever. European kingdoms slowly became stronger and more organized. Coastal defenses improved, armies became better prepared for attacks. At the same time, Christianity spread into Scandinavia itself. As Viking societies changed, the era of constant raiding slowly came to an end. By the 11th century, the age of the Vikings was fading away. The Vikings were certainly brutal. Their raids left destruction across Europe for generations. But their story was not simply about violence. It was a story of survival, ambition, technology, and the desperate search for wealth and power in a harsh world. And for centuries, whenever people along Europe's coasts saw strange ships appearing on the horizon, fear followed soon after.